Oh no.
What?
All the beans fell out.
Hi, good morning friends. So today we are going to be picking out some seeds to put into the garden. It's about mid-June, but there's still plenty of growing time here. And so we want to choose some things that are going to grow and give us some more food before the frost comes. Now, when you're doing this kind of late or in the mid-season, you want to make sure you check your frost date. And the frost date will tell you how long that you might have to until the frost is going to come, which of course could ruin your plants. So in our case, our frost date is October 22nd, which is 130 days from today. So when we're looking at these seed packets, we can find anything that is that can come to maturity within 130 days. So if something says 140 days, we're probably not going to want to grow that. We could probably still take our chances if we wanted to, but it's probably not the best use of space. So I've pulled out a couple of things. I'm going to be pulling out some of the peas from the garden, and so what we want to do is replace that and fill in those empty spaces and be able to grow more food. So we've learned a lot about what we like and what we don't like. We like turnips. We don't like turnips. Remember?
No, we don't like turnips.
No, we don't like turnips. And then we do like snap peas, but it's too late for those, and a few other things. Okay, so most of my seed packets are from the MI Gardener. He had a really awesome sale at the end of the season last year, and so I got a big mystery bag, so that was a lot of fun. Lots of good stuff in there, but on the seed packet here, what you can see are different pieces of information about the seed packet. The one that we want to pay attention to right now is this days to maturity. So this is basil, and it takes 80 to 90 days to mature. And in our area, we have 130 days. So we know that we can grow this and we're still going to get something to eat. Okay, so first up we have basil, which we already have a basil plant growing, so we don't really need to plant basil, so I'm going to just move past that one. We have some green bush beans, which there are, see the days to maturity? 50 to 60 days or 60 to 70. So we can plant these bush beans. We only have 2 little bean plants over there, so I actually think that we should plant some more beans.
Okay.
And here's another bush bean. The maturity is 50 to 60 days as well, so let's grow those.
Alright.
Can you hold those like in order, because they're in alphabetical order? Now, broccoli technically does have only 80 to 188 days to maturity, but broccoli does not like the hot weather. So if we were to plant this right now, it will probably die.
Yeah.
So we have to wait till it gets a little bit cooler.
Yes.
So no on the broccoli. Same thing with Brussels sprouts. The days to maturity, let's see, 110 days to harvest. So we could still grow this, but maybe if we start it inside. But I can't remember.
We normally use Brussels sprouts a lot.
We do, but they're really hard to grow, I've heard. And I've planted them a couple of times, but we didn't have success. So.
Oh wow.
It's too hot for cabbage. Cantaloupe. Now this was a seed packet that I got from someone else, and it looks like, let's see, germination, the hill, start seeds 3 to 6 weeks. I actually don't see a germination rate on this packet, but luckily I do have another packet of cantaloupe, and it says 90 to 102 days, so we could grow some more cantaloupe.
Yeah,
would you like to grow more cantaloupe?
Yes, I would love
Alright,
to grow cantaloupe, because I don't think I've ever tried cantaloupe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, we have carrots, which are 60 to 80 days, but again, carrots are something that don't do so well in hot weather. Yeah. We also have cauliflower, which again doesn't do so well in hot weather, so we can try maybe later. Celery says 110 days.
I don't care too much for celery though.
Yeah, but you know what celery is really good in? Gumbo.
Ah.
And I like to have celery for gumbo.
Okay.
Okay, up next is corn. And I planted some corn seeds and they didn't come up at all. So I think we should plant some more corn seeds. It says 95 to 100 days. So we have a good...
I'd like to have some grown corn that we grow.
Now, these are cucumbers, and I know cucumbers only take 45, or this one is 50 to 60 days. Cucumbers, we've got a lot of cucumbers growing, so I'm going to say no to cucumbers this time around. This is a weird jelly melon cucumber,
We gotta
which,
get that.
well,
We
I
gotta
think
put
we
it
have
in
some planted already.
Yeah, we do, but I haven't seen them poke up yet.
And we need to utilize our space in the best way possible, so we really want to plant things that we're going to eat this time. When we first plant up, that's when we can do more experimentation, but now that it's getting to be in the middle of the season, we really want to utilize the space
Yes.
for food and things that we're going to eat.
Yes.
So here's our kale, which we actually have kale over there doing quite well.
So I guess we don't need kale?
So yeah, we don't eat a lot of kale either, so we don't need that. Now this is a honeydew melon, which takes 90 to 100 days. So we could maybe find a space for that if you want.
Yes. Because I know I'm going to be eating some melons. Melons are good.
Now this is a nasturtium, which is actually an edible plant. I planted a couple of nasturtiums, but I do not see them anywhere around. So I think I'm going to plant a couple more seeds of this out.
Yes, because I want to see what the edible flower and leaves taste like.
Okay, now we have 2 pepper plants up front. They're not producing peppers yet. And I'm a little worried that they may not, because they're just not doing very well. So let's go ahead and add another pepper. Okay, I've got about 3 different kinds of pumpkins, and I know I've got pumpkins growing already. Pumpkins take about 110 days, so we still have quite some time. Why don't we go ahead and choose one pumpkin just in case something doesn't work out with the other ones? Which one would you like to choose?
Kind of like the look of the big ones, but I feel like they're going to take up a lot of space. And I feel like the little ones just look cute. They're cute little pumpkins, so I want the little pumpkins.
We did do little pumpkins last year.
Yeah.
So we could do it again. Okay, we have radish. I don't think we want that. We have sesame and sorghum, which we don't really use those. Zucchini and squash. We have tons of zucchini and squash that's going to be producing any day now. Yeah. But there's something called succession sowing. So all the zucchini and squash that we planted a couple of weeks ago is going to start producing fruit pretty soon, and probably maybe a week or 2. Ooh. The one plant looks like it already has some fruit on it, so we'll see. But if we plant some now, they will be ready when those other plants have died back. So I do think we should plant a zucchini and a squash just because of that reason. Yes. And then we have sunflowers, and then we have tomatoes. Now with the tomatoes, I've got about 4 or 5 tomato plants, but only 2 of them in the front are doing really well. I don't know. Let's go ahead and plant at least another tomato. Would you like to choose one?
That one looks really weird, and you also got a turnip.
Oh, we don't want that.
Like, oh, that's a tomato. Yeah, let's pick the turnip tomato. Yeah. I wonder what kind of tomato that is.
I want to grow.
This one looks weird. Great white tomato.
Yeah, that does look interesting. I don't want to do cherry tomatoes because
we've done that before.
Yeah. So let's choose one of these.
All right. Let's see here. I want big tomatoes, so we can actually have some big tomato things.
So all the tomatoes take about 95 to 100 days.
Aw, cute little birdie.
Alright, we're going to go with that one?
Yes, this one.
Okay, now we have sugar baby watermelon, 75 to 80 days.
Ooh,
and I think we do have 1 watermelon plant growing. So I think we're going to be okay because we don't need a lot of watermelon. And that plant is doing kind of good now. It's picked back up and doing well. Okay, and then the last we have are a bunch more flowers. Yes. And we have a bunch of lettuce. Now, lettuce doesn't usually do well in the summer either. So I'm trying to figure out a way to effectively grow lettuce. So I haven't figured that out yet, so we're not going to grow lettuce. And then we have cucumber, which we don't need. And this golden watermelon, which I'm just now realizing has those leaves. And those leaves are in the front. So now I don't know if what is growing successfully up front is this one or the regular watermelon. So it's a fun mystery. Okay, so in this little pocket we're going to plant a pumpkin seed. These kales will get kind of large and then they'll be ready to pull out a little bit quicker than the pumpkin will, so the pumpkin will be able to take over that space. And over here I'm going to plant a bunch of bush beans. These peas are about to come out soon. You can see the bottoms are really dying off. The top of the right one is still doing okay, the left one is not doing too bad, but I don't expect they're going to last much longer, so we'll see. But so I'm going to plant some bush beans all in this and even underneath that trellis as well. Over in that space, I think I may do a zucchini or squash as part of the succession planting. And over here in this bed, I'm going to do a cantaloupe and a honeydew melon. And those will be able to grow off the side, so they shouldn't take up too much space in the actual bed. And then in that back corner, I'm going to go ahead and try celery. There's nothing but garlic and something else growing that looks kind of half dead back there, so I don't know if it's going to make it. Alright, then over here in the last bed, there is going to be squash, or zucchini squash, and zucchini over here, squash. And these peas also are going to be coming out, so that should open up some space for that. And then over here, there's nothing really growing except for some garlic. Okay, and then over here is going to be a pepper. And then in the front yard, I'm going to do sweet corn because it gets a lot of sun. I'm going to just tuck in a nasturtium seed in somewhere, and then I don't think I'm actually going to do tomato. When I looked around, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This one makes 5. There's another one over there, 6. Right there, and then I have 2 in the front yard, so I'm looking at 8 tomato plants. I'm pretty much the only one who likes tomatoes. My daughter likes them some, but not that much, so that 8 tomato plants should be plenty of tomatoes for me. And over here I just planted some sweet corn. I don't know if this is really the best lighting for it or the best space for it, but I'm gonna give it a try. How many do you have? 4. Alright, so I've got these 2 types of bush beans that I'm going to plant right here. So I'm going to do this half with the green ones, and the other half I'm going to do with the yellow ones.
Oh no.
What?
All the beans fell out.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the recording to see how many I planted on each side. Okay, thanks to my special helper Zoe for getting everything planted. We got all of our seeds in, and so in 1 to 2 weeks we should start seeing some seedlings pop up, and that'll be so exciting.
Thanks for joining us.